Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of, beard brewing. Beard. It's going to be beard brewing. This is their Hootin Hoppy Red Ale. Yeah. This comes courtesy of my boy Steven, Post-Beer Tube Palooza Beer. Decided to drop some knowledge on us all. And, I've been actually looking forward to this one. You don't get a ton of, red ales from today's breweries. Not a ton of them, at least. So whenever I get them, I get a little extra excited about it. So we'll see where this sucker lands. Label is cool. It's got an owl on it. Hoo-hoo. So there you go. Beer-wise, that looks like a red ale. It's not my favorite label in the world, but I do dig illustrative style, so I can get down with it. And as far as the beer goes, it definitely looks like a new school kind of hazy red ale. It doesn't have that ultra clarity that you would typically find with like an old school kind of red ale. It looks more like a washed out kind of iced tea kind of vibe. Index finger of a just south of khaki colored kind of head to it, but it looks the part. A little bit of particulate floating around that sucker. That none bother me none. But yeah, it looks the part of what we'd assume red ale would look like in today's world. It's good nose. Okay. Sweet citrus is the name of the game here. I'm getting a lot of almost like orange marmalade-y kind of notes from it. I'm getting a sweetness here. So we're getting this kind of malt-driven kind of sweetness. If you told me there was like even a little bit of like something like honey or even like a richer kind of maris otter and something inside of this kind of red ale, I would say that's definitely the case, because then it gives you this nice sweeter kind of jammy south of confectionery kind of more, not so super sharp, but a rounded fatty kind of jammy sweetness. And on the other side of things, you have this kind of like combination of a citrus kind of apricot kind of thing going on. So it's almost like apricot jammy kind of vibes going on. No precursor to a big huge bittering to it. You do get a little fluttering. I don't want to go West Coast. I don't want to go resinous. Maybe a touch of resin, but just a kind of generic bittering on top of that kind of sweeter marmalade-y kind of sweetness. It smells like a red ale, but it smells like something that's a little bit jacked up. ABV, we didn't even talk about. 6%. It smelled bigger than a 6% beer. Stonington, Connecticut, they're out of, by the way. I didn't read the can. That was weird to me. And I'm distracted. You want to know why? Because I'm doing a beer review, and it's literally the first pitch of Game 1, Yankees versus Dodgers, right above my head, and I can't. I want to watch it, but I want to do a beer review. You suffer because of my unprofessionalism. But yeah, it smells the part of a new school kind of red ale. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Man, that is generously hopped. Definitely gives you a resin characteristic in it. Didn't think I was going to get there with that aromatic. But man, on a taste, definitely West Coast resiny. That sweetness, I thought was going to be a skosh bigger, based off of the aromatic and that kind of precursor to sweetness. It's definitely not ultra sweet, but you do get those little subtle apricot-y vibes. Or that sweet marmalade vibes on the other side, because you have that little bit of citrus, a little bit of stone fruit kind of apricot-y thing going on. Again, I thought I was going to skew very much sweet, but it's actually flipped the script here and gone quite a decent amount bittering. Very much more in line with like a traditional kind of red ale, but there still is this fruitiness and this haziness, this mouthfeel, this texture on this. Definitely comes off as a fuller kind of like a softer, full mouthfeel as opposed to that sharper kind of cleaner kind of mouthfeel you get from typical reds. And I dig it. I dig it for what it is. I mean, I'm going to sit here, self-proclaim that I'm not the biggest red ale fan in the world. If they're done right, I can really do dig on them. And I dig on this one quite a bit. It's going to rewrite the books as what IPAs for me? No. But anytime I get to go back and kind of dig into these kind of classic styles and have a really nice kind of, like, it's been so long since I've had one kind of experience, it almost kind of tickles me pink a little bit too much that I haven't had one in a while. So there's almost like a little bit of the tail wagging the dog when it comes to this, because I'm just like, it's been so long since I had a red ale, I'm just going to like it in general. There's part of it, but there's also, is it a well-made beer? That's certainly the case here. It definitely kind of tricks you in the nose, thinks you're going to be definitely super new school on it, but it definitely leans heavily into old school in the taste. but it still has those new school attributes, that bit of haze to it, the way those fruity kind of hops kind of come off. But it definitely is, let's put it this way, a very, very aggressive red ale. I mean, a lot of times red ales, even in the same ABV realm, tend to come off a little bit more muted, a little bit more subtle, than decently more subtle than this. And this one's pretty boisterous. If you give this to me and I never read the ABV or I didn't know what beer was, I would guess we're dipping into the 7 to 8% range. So it's definitely hitting above its weight class as far as impact goes. It's almost like just give me a new school Midwestern IPA had a baby with an old school red ale, and that's kind of where the sucker lands for me. So I dig it. I think it's tasty. It's fun. I'm glad I got to try it. So thank you very much, Stephen. So there you go. One of the better red ales I've had is like, yes, Mount Rushmore status probably, but I had drink like a couple of years, so it's kind of not fair. Right availability, no idea. I think I can get beard brewing stuff every now and then by me, so I know they do distro. How much did you pay for it, y'all out there? How easy can you get it? And lead with, if you like what we like this. Again, I pretty much said it. If you like Midwestern old school, Midwestern IPA, and you want to have a baby with red ale. If you like that red ale bittering, slightly spiciness, even though I didn't talk about much spiciness here, that's replaced by that resinous. But you want a bit of those new school kind of attributes, that haziness and fruitiness, and you'll dig this. Beard Brewing. Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're rooting for the Yankees. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers, all.